world? I'm Big Wood from Chaotic Customs MC. You've tuned into Chicago Black Motorcycle Set. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this latest video. What up, world? It's your boy Big Wood. We're here today with a special guest. Normally you see us featuring MCs and maybe the presidents and founders, but today I want to introduce you all to an individual that you should definitely know on the set here in Chicago. He's been around. He definitely has a significant presence. So before I go on, I'm going to first let my guest introduce himself today.
Peace, everybody. My name is William Surf Riles, and I am the creator and founder of the brand called We Ride Biker for Life by Rael. I am the first African-American, quote-unquote, biker artist to present an all-inclusive biker line based upon real stories of the biker turned into pieces of art. Now, I've been doing this for 8 years, as of now, 8 years, and I have been in the biker community here in Chicago for 20 years now. Formerly of a club called Immortal Souls. I was a part of MC Club. Before then, the Four Horsemen by way of Pasadena, California, by way of my cousin Pharaoh, who's now Hell's Lovers. And I've been doing this work consistently since 2014, originally in 2013, before I decided to push this out the way I am. I'm an airbrush artist by trade, tattoo artist. I tattooed a ton of y'all out here in Chicago. You all know who I am. And my artwork is in many clubs, including this house where We Ride Biker for Life's first episodes and first 2 paintings have founding members in it, including this house as well.
Oh, wow. So it's safe to say you've been out here, sir.
Yes.
You're out here.
A lot of stories.
A lot of stories. So, Surf, starting out, you know, a lot of people here, they're familiar with your brand, the We Ride, Biker for Life brand, the Facebook channel, and the YouTube channel. A lot of people need to know you were one of the first people in the city to really do what I'm doing now. You've been doing it, you know, interviewing guys and creating your YouTube channel. But we're going to touch on that a little bit later. The first thing, Surf, I want people to know, how long have you been MCing? How many years?
I was brought into the MC family known as the Four Horsemen. That was in 2003. And prior to that, I have family members that were a part of MC clubs by way of California.
Okay.
So I've been involved in this lifestyle since I was a kid.
So you've been around it?
Yeah, I've been around it.
Okay, sir. You said the club formerly Immortal Souls. You mind touching on the Immortal Souls for a
Mortal
minute?
Souls, when I after we disbanded the Four Horsemen chapter here in Chicago, most of our friends who was originally known as Total Chaos then became Immortal Souls. We were like brother clubs.
Really?
So wherever they was at, we was at.
Okay.
You know, wherever they hung, we was. I mean, it was like this. And so when we disbanded the Four Horsemen chapter here, we were invited to come and become Immortal Souls. By that time, that was in 2008 when that happened, and man, we was just what's the word? 10 toes down, man. It's like
Really?
we really got to see. We saw one side. Well, I saw one side of the MC life, and then I saw another side of the MC life. One part of MC life is you got your one percenters, you got your military, then you got the other side that's family, and that's the other side that people don't see a lot of, which kind of hurts me because people are so caught up with Sons of Anarchy and Mayans and you know whatever they putting online now. Well, you know this is a terrible lifestyle and you're going to jail. No, there's a lot of fun in this group in this community. When I came in, it was fun. It still is, but as you get older, you begin to see things change. So Mortal Souls, who I to personally, you know, that's still family. I'm still part of that family. Though I'm not wearing colors anymore. But I have great memories. In fact, Mortal Souls was my biggest support of the brand.
Really?
And I got tons of stories about, you know, just being out there with them. Like, they saved my life.
Really?
Literally, when I got sick. So that will always be my family. A lot of memories. But I learned a lot of lessons being involved with that family.
Okay. So, you talk about your brand. You know, we touched on how a lot of people see your brand
Yeah.
out here. Tell us a story. How did We Ride Biker for Life come about?
It all started with a picture that I dedicated to the Buffalo Soldiers called Cowboys. We Ride Cowboys, right? The picture is a man on a chopper style Harley from the late 60s, early 70s, right? And in the background, in the sky, is a Buffalo Soldier on a horse. Now, I did that picture specifically for the reason of just having a space in my store filled in. I have, you know, I need to fill it up, and I had biker stuff in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put all this. This is the bike area, right? And people were asking how much did they want for the picture. I say it's not for sale; it's just for the wall. But I'll make a small poster for you if you want it, right? Not thinking that this was going to be, you know, in the future. And then people were asking about it, so I was like, well, just give me $5. I'll make a poster of it. My cousin Tony Blair, shout out to Tone. He has a sign place, Tony Blair's Quick Signs, the original Beeper Daddy of Chicago. He made my posters and we put it together. Boom, they loved them. They were like, hey man, you got another one? Yeah, got another one? Got another one? Okay. Then a lady came in. She saw the picture. I like that. But you need to do a woman's version because girls do it better. Ding, 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 ding. They go to the other picture, which is the building here is actual in the picture. So I did that picture. And I said, okay, let me do another one. Ideas of Perkin.
Wow.
This is 2013.
Okay.
Ideas of Perkin. Then what really kicked it off was I did a shirt with the name We Ride Biker for Life, and my nickname is Rael, which is the origin of my last name, Riles. My friend Kev, he's a childhood friend of mine. He like, I need that shirt. Like, you really like this shirt? I ain't thinking. Got him a shirt. I made the shirt for me.
Right.
Right? I airbrush shirts. There it is. Next thing you know, I got a brother. His name is Danny, Indiana. He saw it. I want 2 of those shirts. I'm like, for real? All right, I sent him a shirt. Then I did a rhinestone version. I need one for my girl. Still not thinking.
Yeah.
And came 2014, I'm at an annual. What the heck? I made a couple of copies. I sold.
Wow.
3 pictures. Sold them. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Let me see what this gonna do. I'm seeing a vision here. All right, let me try it. Next thing you know, I'm doing more murals, and then I filmed me doing the original picture and another picture with my friend Robin. She's my spokeswoman. I did a pool scene. Now, mind you, every picture from this point is based off of a true story. Girls Do It Better was based off of Sugar Baby, Lynn's, her bike.
Okay.
But I couldn't get her bike.
Shout out to Sugar Baby.
Yeah, Sugar
Baby.
Baby.
MC.
Right? So I ended up painting another version based upon me seeing her bike, which is my favorite bike. Every time I seen her bike, I kiss it. Right? So I painted a version of that bike, and then I used this building for it. Bam.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that's when it just started perking. Like, which one you working on now? What you gonna do now? Then I started filming every time I did a piece. Right? Then the next one I did was called Who's Next, which is based upon at the Hawks annual. There was this girl, I can't think of her name, fine as heck, killing everybody on the pool table. I mean, killing them. And she's like, who's next? Ding, 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 ding. I'm finna paint this. So I used my friend Robin for the image. And then I used Gooch, H, who was part of this club.
Right.
And I used, they took pictures and I did them. Bam. Now we got a series.
So shout out to Gooch and H, founders of Chaotic Customs MC. They still around.
And that's where, and then next thing you know, man, the ideas started coming out for like Ramon and Beach Street. I see a piece of canvas, it's like a train. It's so clean.
Wow.
And it started perking.
Okay. And now we see your artwork in clubhouses everywhere.
And that was the mission. If I can get my artwork in every clubhouse, when people come from out of town on the set and they see those pictures and they see people that they know,
right,
I'm going to create a following. And that's when really everything started to percolate. And I gotta also shout out 2 brothers in California, Ant and Rodney of HDTV, because they really sparked it all for me to do this. Because I got to give them acknowledgement. And everything from this point that we speak on, you're going to start seeing a correlation. Okay? Next Level, MC, shout out to Next Level, had an annual. Rodney and Ant from HDTV came out here to film. They were 5 minutes away from the shop. I saw 5 of my bikes on this episode that I painted. And I'm like, how the heck y'all gonna come to Chicago and y'all 5 minutes away from the shop and y'all don't come see me? I got bikes all up in this bad fella. So I was a little mad. So I'm like, I'm gonna do my own show, right? So that's when I started filming, right?
Wow.
And it just sparked from there. And I talk to them all the time. Shout out to Rodney and Ant, HDTV. They really sparked this off for the set. If you didn't know how to put your bike together, they had the show to do it. So they influenced me to do it. Also, Next Level, I got to give them shout outs because they brought them out here. But what I noticed, and this is what really got this going, our stories were not being told. Nor the fact that we're not seeing black biker artists who paint bikes, customize, build bikes. We're not seeing that in Chicago. Okay? And Chicago got a ton of mother chapters outside of Chicago in Illinois. Why isn't that not being brought out? So I did my field study. What is it that we're missing here?
Okay.
We're not being personal with our families. We can talk about, yeah, you know, I got this done from such, and this and that. I spent thousands of dollars on this, on the tire and the hydraulics and everything. But yeah, who built it? Because we're out here getting down too. We're just as good as they are. Why are we not being acknowledged? But we spend all this money just to go thousands of miles to say we was at this party, we representing this and that. But here you got this brother in this garage that just built ape hangers by hand. Shout out to my man Peanut Butter Swirl out in Kansas City. He's in one of the pictures. Slick Customs. He's Next Level. He doing his thing. Who else? I mean, you got old schoolers that's been getting down in the garages. These guys ain't being acknowledged, but you sit down with these guys, they can teach you a whole bunch of things that you would have never thought about, and that's how I learned about the MC. Okay. So I wanted to show the art and stories of the bikers, African American bikers, our Latino, and our white families too. But there are stories that people need to know about. Now, down the line, let's say I do a story and I paint somebody that everybody knows 5, 10 years down the line, you at a shop or you at a restaurant or you at somebody's house. I know that dude. Yeah, I know the guy that painted him. Now you got a conversation.
Right.
Yeah, I remember such, like my man, Gentleman Tony in Sin City. I interviewed him, did a photo shoot with him and his children, and he brought out his bike. The bike turned into an episode. He built this bike in his living room. They called him the living room special. Wow. Before his wife told him, you to get this out and you got to go.
Speaking of Sin City, a lot of people don't know, you did a documentary on it.
Yes, based upon the book by Sonny. Shout out to Sonny. Can't really talk too much about him right now, but Sonny, I was introduced to him by a friend of mine by the name of Tara Poetry Emotions Cooks. I gotta acknowledge her because she'll kill me. And she introduced me to a group called 3D Riders out in Gary. Shout out to them. I painted their whole place. My paintings in their place.
All over, yeah.
Right. So they introduced me to a brother who was a part of Sin City, and I ended up meeting one of the founders. And from there, me and him had a very tight relationship. Wherever I went, he was like, let me know where you at and make sure the guys take care of you. And when he told me about his book, I said, I would love to interview you for my show. And that's when the relationship kicked in. Man, it was like, we so tight, old man called me Smurf, not Surf, he called me Smurf, right? It's all good. But that interview turned into an annual, and I did a 17-foot mural at their house. And after that, I'm not Sin City, but I'm a sinner, right? And we've been tight ever since. And that one got like when we just the intro alone got over 10,000 hits.
Wow.
A 4-minute video, 10,000 hits.
Wow.
People calling me from all over, like, yeah, I was hanging out with them, man, this and that. And these guys, I've known a lot of their members since I came into the set. Matter of fact, 2 of the members that are still there now, when I was a horseman, blessed us on the set. And I learned a lot about the set from them 2 guys. I ain't gonna mention their names. I don't want them cutting me out. But I have stories. Sin City has blessed me in so much. Like when I was sick, they kept me working along with another group, and I got to acknowledge him too. I'll talk about it in a minute. Brother Twister from Street Soldiers. Those 2 clubs alone kept me busy for literally 5 years of my life while I was dealing with cancer.
Wow.
Okay, so that shows the other side of the MC life as a family. Yeah. They take care of each other. We have an economy. There's nothing out here, shout out to my man Big Sale, FHO. There's nothing in this society that you can't go to and you can't get not one thing, whether it's a job, a lawyer, insurance, a place to stay, a mechanic, whatever. This society, there go my stomach tired. This society, sorry, I'm hungry, I ain't yet. But society, in this society, there's nothing that you can't get.
You're right.
Nothing. So it's no excuses. So We Ride brought all that together, like with Sugar Baby in her place. I interviewed her place. All of these things you get here. But where are the brothers and sisters like me and you that's getting down? I want to know where the builders at. What y'all putting together? Okay, right. You spending money on these rims and you spending money on these speaker systems and these paint jobs, but who's doing them? Right. I want to know who's doing them because we exist. Now put all that in art. How many brothers and sisters do you know that's doing biker art? And I did my research. There aren't any. Or how many pictures in the biker community do you see us in? You don't see them. I brought that out.
Shout out to Sir.
That's what makes that important. So when anybody sees these pieces, they're not just seeing a piece of art. They're seeing real people that people know. Okay, and some of them are no longer here with us. Shout out to one love to my man, Hoss. And he passed away almost 2 years ago. This brother was so supportive of the brand. He gave me some game on healing when I got sick. The man, I hate the fact that we were supposed to do an interview, and I never got a chance to interview him. I interviewed him briefly based upon another person that passed away, Nico from the Street Soldiers, who also painted. Hoss is also in one of my paintings called the barbecue. So you ever see the barbecue picture? He got the piece of sausage with the fork and the flames
I'm
coming
familiar.
out.
Yeah.
So you can see real people in these pictures because this is a family. And I wanted to make sure that this brand had everybody. I want people to feel, hey man, I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
Just like Toby Jean, rest in peace, East Bay Dragons, talked about how Harley was a part of us when they got bought out. And then Reagan, I can't think of the young man's name. He's an older guy now, but he's a descendant of Harley Davidson. And he went to the United States to get the money that they needed to buy Harley back from, I think it was AMF.
AMF, yeah.
Okay. And everybody's like, well, I mean, you see how they treat us? And Toby was like, no, this is us. I felt like I was a part of that. And he had every right to feel that way because back in the day, most of us couldn't go to Harley Davidson and go get a brand new motorcycle. We had to go to these stockyards and chop up and do our own thing, which came out to create some of the best bikes on the planet that, and no disrespect towards Harley, they're using these ideas now based upon brothers like Chris Voss, Punchy from Rare Breed, The Candy Shop, Big Dirt, who else? Jesse James, who got influenced by Sugar Bear. These guys laid a foundation for what these big billion-dollar companies are using now to make money, and we're going right up to them, we buying them, but we're not acknowledging our forefathers. Okay. And I want to make sure that with this brand, regardless of what I sell, regardless of what I'm doing, I want us to be acknowledged because we're here. And in some cases, we saved this industry from our influences. Okay? So I just put it in art.
Okay. So, sir, tell me this. What was it like for you in your early days on the set?
The earliest day, the best thing that I can tell you about the earliest days on the set was we was young. We was fresh meat. Okay? So we got approached. I've been approached many a times, black and white. Okay? And you just trying to get your name out. You trying to, you understand. The first lesson I remember, got to get a shout out to my cousin Pharaoh, Hell's Lovers. When we got blessed in, the first lesson I learned was we had to buy all the president's drinks. All right? So I was the secretary, so I had the money, so I could buy everybody drinks, right? Every president that you bought a drink to, you had to ask them a question so that you would MC properly. That was the first lesson I learned on set. Every president, you need to sit down and ask a question. Okay, and that just didn't go here. That also was in California. That was in Georgia. Any MC, including outlaw white boys, I had to sit down and ask questions if they was willing to talk to me. Okay, that's how you learn, the mouth to ear. That's how you learn. Second thing was, if you got bylaws, you better study them because not only are you studying them, but other outlaws are studying your bylaws too. Because you wearing your colors. You may get approached by somebody and they're gonna ask you a question based upon what you're supposed to know in that book. And if you don't know if your president had them come see you to make sure that you was sufficient in your knowledge. Okay? Another thing was your outlaws, your 1%ers, those are your gatekeepers. At any time you need to get some advice, you are supposed to go to them at any time and they're supposed to school you. Those are your elders. And I spoke on this before. I'm finna give y'all a lesson. Anybody that's wearing a diamond ain't nothing but the top version of a graduation cap, and that one is the tassel. That means that at any time, when a 1%er steps to you, they supposed to sit up here and teach you something so that you can MC properly. And MC, Motorcycle Club, there's another statement to that. MC also means making communications. Okay? Then you got Men's Club. But if you in this, you are making communications. That's what I learned.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I'm still learning stuff every day.
So, seeing the way things are now as opposed to when you first came in, what's something you would want to bring from back in the day, bring it back here, or reiterate it? And what's something, because we know it's not all doom and gloom now, that you would take from the day and say, man, I wish we were doing that back then?
Learn how to have fun again, because that's what we do this for.
Okay.
We're supposed to have fun. Let me put it like this. We got enough going on in the world with all this crazy stuff that's going on, right? Now, let's say this is my home, right? I want you to come into my house in peace, and I want you to leave in peace. I want you to be able to keep all of the BS that's going on outside and come in here and relax. Get your mind off things.
Okay.
We can sit back and talk about, what's going on in the world, what's going on in your life. When you leave my house, you're going to leave satisfied. You're going to leave in peace, because that's the environment that I made for you. Okay. It ain't about the money. We're going to make some money, but it ain't about that. It's about, these are my friends. This is a society where we literally call each other brother and sister for a reason. Okay? Not just because it sounds good. There's a reason for everything. And I would like to see that come back again. Get out of the egos. Ain't no chiefs, ain't no Indians. We all the same. We all came up from one point, from a prospect position to where we're at. If you are officer, know your position. But remember, you are officer. You are a servant. You are not big me, little you. You are a servant. You are here to service the company that you are in. And that's what people are going to remember you for. Wow. That's the part that I would like to see again. And it should not be where we're talking like this when we have elders that have passed away. Oh, I remember, man, we used to do such. That's not what that's for, man. We're supposed to advance. It's like a parent. You have a child. You're supposed to raise your child to be better than you. They're supposed to be the next chapter of your life. That's why when brothers come in, you're prospected for a reason. Are you in this because you really want to enjoy this lifestyle, this abode of peace that we're supposed to have, right?
Right.
Or are you here bringing some BS because you ain't really told us what's really going on in your life? Don't bring your nonsense to this, because we all got situations going on. Don't bring your, you know what I'm saying? You go use the washroom, flush the toilet. I ain't supposed to clean up your shh.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be an adult, wise enough to know and mature enough to know, hey man, I ain't supposed to be bringing that up in here, because now I'm bringing a bad vibe, and everybody's vibe gonna be messed up.
Right.
That's what happened. That's what I would love to bring back. We need to bring that element back. I got a lot of people that are no longer here that used to talk about how fun this used to be, and it still is fun. But we got to remember, hey man, welcome to my home.
Right.
That's what this is. It's a home.
Okay. Now, what would you take from today back if you could?
If I take today,
right,
back,
that's something that you see as happening today.
Advancement. Okay. I mean, with every year that passes through, outside of what happened with COVID and all that, with everything that we have, we're advancing. There's always new and exciting things that's supposed to be added onto it. Who's building the next level of bikes? But what I would love to bring, if I could take what I know now, health, man. Health. People are not healthy, man.
Well, speaking on that, I know earlier you alluded to getting sick.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that you have a survivor story.
Yeah.
Expound on that. Tell us about it.
The same year I started We Ride Biker for Life, business-wise, was the same. Like 7 months later, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And I battled it for 2 years straight. And it came to a crash in literally September 1st, 2016. I was diagnosed September 23rd, 2014. I battled it all the way to 2016. September 1st, 2016 to be exact. I was hospitalized, and it got so bad due to something that I should have been very careful about. But 3 days I lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
They had to do emergency surgery. I think from what I was told, they had to do surgery for 8 hours. And I had to recover. But in my recovery, I remember the lessons that I learned from the late, great Dr. Sabi, who I got to meet in 2014, and my personal elder, Chris Williams, about fighting cancer naturally. And as I began to heal, those methods prevented the cancer from spreading from the colon to the liver and the kidneys. And the doctors asked me about that. I ain't say too much, but the lessons that I learned from Dr. Sabi and my personal elder helped reverse, and the tumor that I had, it never went any further. It actually started to shrink.
Wow.
Now, with that, I utilized this as a way of keeping myself energized. And as I went through my natural treatment program, I was painting like a madman. Like a painting every week. I was getting them out. I mean, wow, because it kept me motivated during that time. But I learned a lot from there, and now I'm counseling people. I'm helping people with their situations now. As of now, I'm 5 years cancer-free now. But it was within them time periods, I can tell you, it was a lot. It was a lot. And this community here has its own personal story about people dying from either heart attacks, colon cancer, diabetes issues. It's a lot of that here. You know, because it's a fun lifestyle, but a lifestyle is very unhealthy. Yeah. And after talking to so many people, I'm like, oh my God, we got work. And that's something, you know, we do the cancer runs and we acknowledge people, but it's so many things that you can do that's real simple, man, to keep yourself from going through what I went through. Because I don't want nobody to go through what I went through. Right. Okay? There's another side to fighting cancer and beating cancer. It's the recovery time.
Okay.
So I speak on that a lot. Look, do this, do this, do this. You need help, do this, do this. Hit me up. Don't be scared. Look, don't look at this face and be like, oh, he don't know what we're talking about. Question me.
Yeah.
See if I'm thorough. I'm going to let you know. And most of the times, simple stuff can stop you from getting sick. Stuff like, man, I don't want nobody to go to the hospital and do what I did with being in the hospital for 10 days. Couldn't walk. 6 months. I couldn't feel my legs from here to here. I was numb for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Not to be joking, but, you know, black men got butts. I lost my butt, man. I'm flat, man, because of all this stuff, man. You don't want to go through that, okay? But it does change you. There's a mental side to dealing with cancer.
Yeah.
Okay? There's a psychological battle. And most of men, especially men, get yourselves checked out. They say after 40, nah. Get yourself checked out at 25 because the stuff they put in these foods is ridiculous now. Okay? Get checked out. Don't be a coward. Look, you spend thousands of dollars to travel thousands of miles on 2 wheels. You don't know what's going to happen to you. Man, get your butt into a doctor and get, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, stop being scared of a colonoscopy.
Get it checked.
Get it checked.
Y'all hear him.
Get it checked. Listen. Look at me. You do not want to go through what I went through. And I'm man enough to tell you, you do not want to go through what I went through. Get yourself checked out. Stop being scared. Get out of your egos. Get yourselves checked out. Because I can show you pictures of what I look like. You don't want to go through what I went through.
Wow. So, Surf, now, with all your experience, you know, what you've been through and all that, where do you see yourself going as far as with the MC community? Where do you see yourself progressing to here in the set?
Making more relationships with all of the clubs, the older ones and the new ones. Having an outlet for just like what you're doing. I mean, I really thank you for doing this because I was alone out here for a minute. Man. Thank you. Thank you. And we need more of this. So I want to make sure I acknowledge you for what you did. Okay.
And for the record, I had no clue that you did it.
Listen, man. When you did this, I was like, "Thank you," because it was not easy.
No,
but
man.
then again, any revolutionaries never benefit from the revolution. It's the offspring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did what I was supposed to do. I opened up a door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what you're supposed to do. But I'm making more connections. Chicago has a very serious history that needs to be acknowledged. There's some things in this community that we need to sit down and break open to make this better for everyone. You know, we got the west side and we got the south side. There is a tale of two cities. And I'm between both of them. You know, the history of the biker community has its origins on the west side.
Really?
And people need to learn about that. If you want to MC proper, I'm saying this.
Break it down for them.
The west side has the origin of the shoot. How far you want to go with the west side? The west side has an origin in Chicago, number one, because during the Chicago fire, African Americans dominated downtown. After the Chicago fire, most African Americans moved to the west side. Number one. Number two, some of the oldest bike MC clubs, are on the west side. Okay? And they're still out there. Thunderbirds, Born Losers, they still out there. Still MCing, still doing their thing. But you got Midnight Riders, you got Hell's Lovers, but they out here now. Who else? Man,
Cheetahs.
it's a lot of
Southside Club with Cheetahs.
But
the dozens.
there you go. And they all migrated. Okay? Madison, just Madison alone, man, the history by itself, that's where the west side started. So it's a lot of origins out there that people are now familiar with. If you want to know anything about the MC community, you got to go to the west side. Get your game up. You got to learn about the west side. Now, the south side still they doing their thing too, don't get me wrong. But if you want to know your history, just like the history of the one percenters, the outlaws, how that started up, you gotta go to where it starts. Just like airbrushing. Airbrushing is more popularized on the west side because it got its start from the west side and then it migrated. Okay? Same thing with that. You gotta go to the elders. You gotta learn, man. That's the only way that you're gonna be able to understand the reason why certain things are the way that they are. Not just trying to get money off of them. No, man, sit down with these guys, man. You'd be surprised. These guys really want to tell you about this history. How you going to know about it if you don't sit up here and sit down with them? I interviewed the Born Losers, man. I learned so much from this. Shout out to James. I learned so much about the West Side just in 1 hour.
Wow.
Okay? And the Born Losers been over there forever. Okay? Involved in a lot of events. Okay, and nothing. But also gotta acknowledge Chi-Town Posse, which was one of the oldest clubs prior to Hell's Lovers, Dirty Dozens, Mesticas, who else? Sin City, the Demons. Gotta acknowledge them. Shout out to Cap. But when they came out, they were sports bikes. But I got to talk to two of their original members, whose mother was a Dirty Dozen. Okay, who told me how they came about. And you have some very, I'm calling old cats, that are out here now. Jig, who actually was one of the founders, okay, who also helped put together Number One Stunners, Clutch and Chrome, Throttle Legends, okay, had a shop out here, doing business, got a real nice bike, went to Georgia, opened up the Motorcycle Mall of America. He's putting in work and still doing it. Again, acknowledgement. He talked to me about the origins of the Toys for Tots parade, which I was like, yo, we still got to do the interview, Jig. Still got to do the interview because he has this information. He was there, right? Then it come to find out that he knew some of my old neighbors that I grew up with.
Wow.
So there's a history here, man. But how you gonna know that if you ain't out there?
So I always tell people, if you don't know a certain person or if you don't know a certain club, you're not MCing.
No.
So in other words, like you said, you got to get out. You got to talk to these people. You got to start up conversations.
Make connections. MC.
Yeah. Make connections. All right. So, sir, in conclusion, what's something you want to leave for the people?
The art. I said this at one of my anniversaries. If I passed away, by a show of hands, I said this. How many people had me do a tattoo on them? Raise your hand. How many people got some artwork that from the brand? Raise your hand. How many people had me do their bikes? Raise your hand. How many people such? Raise your hand. Thing was, anything happened to me, my legacy is I've already made my legacy. I did what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I'm helping people with health. You know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. That's how I get my blessings. Right? I'm so serious about this now. Like, if I passed away, I was never really one about this. I said, man, cremate me and have my attorney make sure that they take my ashes and put it inside of an urn with a shot glass with the We Ride logo, put my picture on, make sure every club get a piece of my ashes. So when they party, they can always put something down, take one of my drinks, and put it in the bottle. So when y'all celebrate, y'all don't forget me.
That's right.
That's how much I love about this set, because this set never judged me. That's what I loved about this set, and I still love it. This set from day one, when I stepped in, having my old school 80s shag in the back of my head, they never judged me.
Right.
I'll let you, as long as I showed and proved. Never judge me. Okay. And that's why I got so many stories, man, about being on this set, because they never judged me.
So, Surf,
A lot of drinks from Mississippi, like, man, get this, you gonna be straight. And I was like, okay, cool. Everybody know I'm not really a drinker, but I was telling my cousins, I said, listen, if you add this to it, you'll actually alkaline the drink, and it'll make it healthier. And so he applied, and about a month later, he sent me some stuff. I'm like, yo, I think you got something here. So every time I do an event, I wanted to have my own drinks. So my goal was to have a healthier alternative to what we're used to having, on the set. So I got my own cognac. This is my special edition one. This is blueberry infused. This my tequila, which is a favorite for the ladies. This is my mango tequila. This is my model, Robin. She's on there. On this one right here, we got our vodka. This is lime and lemon flavored. Then we have the whiskey. And then the new one is pina colada. So each one of these are infused with 15 different minerals. The goal was to put something that was healthy for people when they're out on the set, because I care about you guys. I don't want y'all out here all messed up riding and driving. You know what I mean? So these minerals that you usually lose when you're drinking heavy is replenished in here.
okay.
And I've been successful with it so far.
Wow. So, how can people reach out to you? Especially for the airbrush. You definitely did my helmet.
No doubt. You all can hit me up at 773-551-2904. You can go to the website, which I have a new one real soon. WeRideBikerForLife.com. That's FOR. WeRideBikerForLife.com. You can check out everything. For these are special editions. You have to call for these, because these are fresh. So you got to call on there, because this is an alternative. But for all the clothing, you can go on the Facebook, look up We Ride Biker for Life store, We Ride Biker for Life fan page, and of course you can go on YouTube, check out the show, We Ride Biker for Life, the series, and see all of the artwork and some of the famous people that I've done, and just support.
Okay. Support.
Indeed.
All right, bro. Cool, man. So we're gonna definitely have to get you back, man. We gotta get some of those stories, man. It's been a pleasure interviewing
Indeed.
you, man. It's like I said, man. You are definitely somebody that I personally feel like people should know you on the set.
Gratitude.
I know a lot of old times. There's a lot of new faces that don't know you. If they don't know, they know now.
They're gonna find out in a minute.
Cool, man. All right, Surf, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Gratitude.
Man. Thanks for tuning in to Chicago Black Motorcycle Set YouTube page. I'm your host, Big Wood, Chaotic Customs MC. Hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also, if you feel like you, your club, or something that's going on here on the set in Chicago should be featured on our channel, get in touch with us ASAP, and we'll make it happen.